Hello, YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. How you doing? Oh, just don't mind me. It's been, there's been a lot going on today at the YouTube studio of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. A lot of cleaning, a lot of organizing, and some property management employees are doing the bathroom, then the kitchen, so there's been a lot of activity during the day. I actually managed to take a nap earlier today, miracle of miracles. But anyway, so a few things. First of all, right now the time is approximately 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Monday, August 23rd, 2021. The moon is waning in Pisces and the sun is transiting in Virgo. You know, when I was in high school, I was a humongous gossip. I used to call myself 1010 Wins after a local radio station here. Now, the 1010 Wins radio station in my area, their slogan is, you give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world. My slogan used to be, you give me 22 seconds, I'll give you the school. Far from original, I know, but I thought it was very clever and very funny. Anyway, so, welcome to the September 2021 entry for the Llewellyn's 2021 Tarot Calendar. And yes, as I am fond of reminding my awesome audiovisual person from my YouTube channel, also known as Drake, yes, there will be lots of close-ups. Lots of close-ups. So let's start with the first one. Look at this beautiful cover. Now, it's not as shiny as it was when I first received it because, you know, but still. And did we do the front? Okay, now we're going to do the back. Back of the cover. Okay, so let's go to September 2021, and I will be casting the cards. I will be doing the spread. Before I go any further, let me just say that I almost always use a Llewellyn published tarot deck when I do not have the tarot deck that's featured in the entry. But this past weekend, I had the honor and pleasure of participating in FlameCon 2021. This was its second year of being virtual, but this year I was ready to participate in the virtual one, and there was an amazing panel discussion called Queering the Tarot. Now, I know that there was a book with the same title. I happen to have a copy of the title. The author was not present, unless the author goes by a different name when she's not writing, but I will say that one of the panelists was Trungles, who wrote and illustrated the Star Spinner Tarot. So as a result, I'm going to be using the Star Spinner Tarot for this casting of cards, and I definitely used it already for the September 2021 entry of the Llewellyn's Many Moons 2021 Lunar Planner. So with that being said, let me have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the entry for the September 2021 listing for Llewellyn's 2021 Tarot Calendar. And, did we get the close-up? Okay. So, the Magician is from the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, which I promise you I will have in my possession before the end of this year, no matter what. Beginning a project, which ties into one of the prompts for September 2021 of the Many Moons 2021 Lunar Planner. So I'm like, that's interesting. One of the symbols, which I love this symbol, I actually happen to know its official name. And of course, the spread, Your Elemental Tools, which I'm very excited about because I am especially fond of 5-card spreads. Especially considering that there are 5 suits in the tarot. We have the major arcana, we have the wands, the cups, the swords, the pentacles. We have the 5 points of the pentacle, or the pentagram, if you will. If it's not encircled, it's a pentagram. If there's a circle around it, it's a pentacle. And then, of course, we have other associations with the number 5, but I digress. So, the Magician from the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. The Magician is a card of personal power. It reminds you that you have the skills and tools you need to accomplish your goals. All you have to do is pick them up and use them. Now, I say this to all of you, especially if you've been going through an especially challenging time, especially since since Saturday, July 31st, 2021. If you have been going through an especially challenging time since then to now, you have the tools. You need to use them. Unless you want to remain miserable. I don't think you want to remain miserable. I know I don't. So use the tools. Pick them up and use them. Make that magic. Make that magic yours. Okay. Symbol. The infinity symbol. Also called a lemniscate. L-E-M as in Mary, N as in Nancy, I, S as in Sam, C as in Charles, A, T as in Tom, E. Lemniscate represents not only infinity but also the connection between earth and spirit. The magician knows that his or her or their true power comes from within. So that means go deep inside your inner well. Extract that power, bring it to the surface, bring it to the heavens. Raise it up. Raise up that energy. Stoke that fire. Stoke that fire. That fire in the belly. Raise it up. There's a song called Raise It Up, and it's by one of my favorite musicians. His name is Freddie Freeman. He is a vocalist, he's a singer, he's a producer. I love his energy. He and his husband Jay co-created Bare Your Soul, which is one of the most beautiful, empowering, transformative programs that in which I have ever participated, and it is something that is especially beautiful for the GTBQ community. And I need to say it that way because it is for men who identify as men as well as men who love men. I love Bare Your Soul. I think it is one of the most beautiful and powerful programs in which I've participated. I love going to Bare Your Soul. I miss being at Easton Mountain in Albany, New York, and I look forward to returning when the time is right. There is an amazing program within Bare Your Soul called Loving Our Bare Bodies. Loving Our Bare Bodies is just, I could do a bazillion videos and blog posts about loving our bare bodies, but it really is something that if you really want to get to know loving our bare bodies and Bare Your Soul, participate in it. That's all I gotta say. Okay, beginning a project. I'm very excited about this article, by the way. The magician is a good omen for beginning something new. Before beginning a project, think about what you want to accomplish. Compare it to your values. How well does your goal express your values? Your work is more likely to shine if it reflects your ideals. What resources can you access? You probably have more than you think. Consider how inspiration, logic, information, emotional support, and a good network can support your endeavors. Even if you feel well prepared, brainstorm ideas. Can we say journal writing? You can never have too many, and a good magician always has something up her sleeve. If you feel stuck, use the spread on this page to help. Let me take a sip of tea. By the way, I am drinking Bigelow Benefits Blueberry and Aloe Herbal Tea. It's delicious. Added some of that cranberry honey that I bought at Be Natural at the Reading Terminal Market in Philadelphia, as well as some lemon juice. Delicioso. Okay, your elemental tools. So I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the spread. I will include the description for each card in the description box for this video, but I definitely wanted to do a close-up of the spread itself. Okay, so the magician is able to perform magic because he or she or they understand the motivation and their tools. This spread helps you bring your best to whatever you are trying to accomplish. Card number 1 shows your main value connected to and expressed through this project. Card 2 is where you can draw inspiration. Card 3 provides suggestions for creativity. Card 4 helps with planning. Card 5 reminds you of resources you may have overlooked. If you are not pleased with card 1, figure out how it is connected to the project and how you can change it. Now, I want to say 2 things about this spread, but before I do, card 1 represents major values, major arcana values. Card 2 represents wands, inspiration. Card 3 represents cups, creativity. Card 4 represents swords, planning. And card 5 represents pentacles, resources. Now, one of the reasons why I love 5-card spreads is because they especially in the Llewellyn tarot calendars, they represent the 5 suits of the tarot. Major arcana, wands, cups, swords, pentacles. So one way to do this spread would be to separate the suits of the tarot. And for the first card, you would go to the pile that has the major arcana cards. For the second card, which is represented by wands, you would go to the wands pile. Card 3 represent cups, so you'd go to the cups pile. Card 4, swords pile. Card 5, pentacles pile. I am using the entire deck of the Star Spinner Tarot, but I do want to shuffle this deck again. And as I shuffle this deck, I call upon Isis Fortuna, goddess of the sacred tarot and by extension, divination, and I ask that Isis Fortuna, Isis Fortuna, Isis Fortuna, shine her clarity and illumination, spin her rudder forward. May everything that these cards reveal, may everything that my psychic guides and ancestors reveal and share and offer during the casting of these cards bring clarity and illumination, love and light, wholeness and healing, prosperity and peace, greatness and glory, victory and veneration. May they bring all good, loving, juicy blessings and insightful, wise, and imperative information and illumination that guides and lights our way. Cutting the deck into 3 piles, putting the 3rd pile on top of the 1st and 2nd. And again, in the interests of convenience and time, I'm going to hold up each card individually, and then I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of each of the cards. So, let me position this here. So this is the Spread Your Elemental tool. So I'm going to begin by having Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, do a close-up of the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous back of the card design. And look, it shimmers. It shimmers. Okay, the front of the card. And this is card number 1, representing the major arcana or values. Card 1 shows your main value connected to and expressed through this project. So, 3 of Swords. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Surrender and release the attachments to the fears. The fears of disappointments, the fears of failures, the fears of, oh no, this is going to happen again, or oh no, not this again. So it's about surrendering and releasing the attachments to the fears, to thoughts of failure, to thoughts and mental images of failure, of lack, of limitation, of hardship. Let's pretend right now, let's play a game. I actually know somebody who used to do this with her daughter. Let's play a game. Let's pretend that. So to all of you in YouTube land, let's play a game. Let's pretend right now that where you are right now, nobody has ever hurt you. Nobody has ever caused you to feel any ounce of pain or suffering or hardship or heartache. Let's pretend for one moment, for this one moment right here and right now, wherever you are in YouTube land, let's pretend that you had never known any success, any failure of success, any failure to succeed, let us pretend in this moment right now that you have never experienced even an ever so slight failure. That everything you have ever had is a success, followed by another success, followed by another success, on top of another success, on top of another success, on top of yet another success. This would be foreign to you, wouldn't it? This would be like, what's this? I don't understand this. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what this is. So let's pretend that you're coming from a place of abundance and prosperity, not from a place of heartbreak and failure. So if you have a project already in the works, if you have already begun a project, go back to the beginning before the beginning of that project and look at it from the perspective of, this is not about filling a void. This is about providing something that somebody may already be doing, but I'm doing it this way, or I'm doing it better, or I'm bringing this to the party, or I'm putting this into the mix. You know, I have always said, and I've been saying this for years and years and years, that when it comes to going to a professional reader, a psychic, an energy healing practitioner, it is imperative that you, the client, pay attention to your energy. What is your energy telling you? See, I know that there are people that would receive mountains of blessings from availing themselves of my psychic services. Some of them resist that divine guidance. A lot of you resist that divine guidance, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you think you have to have something in place, or I need to do something different to make this happen. But all it is a matter of choice. If you choose to come from a place of lack and limitation and hardship, what is that going to be for your project? What is that going to do for your project? If you come from a place of, I have everything I need, I'm building on that. I'm building upon a success. I am doing this out of a place of love and joy and peace and prosperity. Now, what's that going to bring? What is that going to bring you? How empowered are you going to be? How energized are you going to be? How much more success are you going to have? And I'm also going to say something else. Is there something that you've been saying yes to without realizing it? Have you been inadvertently saying yes to people wasting your time? Have you inadvertently said yes to, well, this is the way it is, so I have to deal with it? Have you inadvertently said yes to, well, I got to deal with this person because this is what my reality is? No. Maybe it's time to start saying no. No to hardship, no to toxic energy, no to toxic people, no to lack, no to limitation, no to hardship. You know, I've always loved the message that the dragonfly gave me. Because in the Native American cosmology, the dragonfly represents illusion. And I always thought that was odd. I'm like, why would the Native American cosmology venerate illusion? And then one day the dragonfly whispered in my ear, she said to me, I am the way away from illusion to illumination. And when she said that to me, I was like, ooh, yeah, that works. So, say no to heartbreak, say no to heartache, say no to hardship. Say no to things and people that cause you pain. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, in YouTube land and not in YouTube land, I am listening. I am listening. Card number 2, Wands, inspiration. Card number 2 is where you can draw inspiration. So again, I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the back of the card design, the shimmery, beautiful back of the card design. And now I'm going to have him do a close-up of the front of the card. See that shimmer. I definitely love shimmery things more than shiny things. I do appreciate shiny things, but if I have to choose between shiny and shimmery, I'm one of the few gay men on the planet that would choose shimmery. Card number 2 is Wands, inspiration. And it is the Ace of Chalices, or the One of Chalices, or the Ace of Cups. Self-love, self-love, self-love is where you can draw inspiration. You know, I remember one of the most beautiful things that the late and great Louise L. Hay said in her, I want to say it was her Receiving Prosperity audio, but it might have also been her her How to Love Yourself audio. And she said, I start every morning looking at myself in the mirror saying, I love you. I really love you. And you know what? I have not done that in far too long. And Aphrodite is like, it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time. I say Aphrodite because I recently did a goddess energy healing treatment where the client wanted to call upon the energies of Aphrodite. And of course, she received a glorious, gorgeous Aphrodite energy healing attunement as part of her payment for that goddess energy healing attunement, calling upon the energies of the Hellenic goddess Aphrodite. So ever since then, Aphrodite has been like, I'm still with you, baby. I'm still here for you, baby. Ride or die, bitches. Ride or die. So Aphrodite has been whispering in my ear a lot. I got to give her some honey, too, because, you know, bees, the Melissae, the priestesses of Aphrodite. So, and of course, Venus's love dove is one of the most common images on the Ace of Cups, or in this case, the One of Chalices. So I say to you, self-love, loving yourself. You know, one of the things that the late and great Louise L. Hay would also ask her participants, her students, is to ask themselves, how can I love you more? So I invite all of you, after you watch this video, go to your mirror, whether it's your bathroom mirror, your bedroom mirror, your compact, or even the most reflective surface in your immediate vicinity, and say to yourself, I love you. I really love you. And how can I love you more? That, by the way, my friends, is magic. Card number 3, Cups, creativity. Card 3 provides suggestions for creativity. So again, I'm going to have Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audio-visual person for my YouTube videos, do a close-up of this glorious, beautiful, shimmery card. And it is a swords card. Funny. So it is card number 3, providing suggestions for creativity. It is the Knight of Swords. She looks like a Valkyrie to me. What say you, Drake? She looks like a Valkyrie to me. So you know what? The card represents suggestions for creativity. Do a prayer of protection. Speak to the spirits. Speak to your ancestors. Speak to the gods. Speak to the angels. Speak to the sacred fae. Speak to those spirits, those energies that you love and adore. Maybe it's time to work with a new energy or a new spirit. Everything okay? Checking in with the peanut gallery. Okay, let me take a sip of my tea. All these YouTube notifications. Okay. That's so good. So, this is about cups and creativity. So again, Knight of Swords. I'm going to go back to journal writing. If you have not spent time with your journals, this is a great time to do that. If you have not made time for journal writing, if you have not given yourself a new journal, this is a great time to do that. Card number 4, Swords, planning. Card 4 helps with planning. This is the card. Here is a close-up of the card. And the card is coins. 3 of coins. So what monies do you need to allocate? What resources do you need to allocate for this project? What resources do you have yet to allocate for this project? And how much money do you really need to allocate? Because, you know, coins represent money, but coins represent physical health matters. So how much physical energy are you putting into this project, into this new beginning? And I'm also going to say, what are you doing to protect your physical health and well-being so that you have all the energy you need for this project. Because maybe it's also not about spending money or allocating money. Maybe it's about doing something that you would not normally do. You know, I very rarely do barters. And the reason why, I have two main reasons why I rarely do barters. Number one, I had a very negative experience with bartering more than 10 years ago. Actually, it was closer to 20 years ago. And unfortunately, that negative experience with bartering lingers. It was one of the few times that my professional life as a professional intuitive invaded my professional life when I worked in an office and worked traditional business hours. And the person offered me bread and tomatoes, two of my favorite foods on planet Earth. And unfortunately, the person had very toxic energy. So when it comes to bread and tomatoes, if I have a negative experience with bread or tomatoes, like recently somebody made this amazing pasta sauce, but this amazing pasta sauce was made way too spicy. And it turned me off to tomatoes temporarily, which is a very difficult thing to do for me. Because I'll tell you why. When I was a little boy, if it wasn't corn or tomatoes, I wouldn't eat it. Now, as an adult and have a much more broad palette of fruits and vegetables, I eat a lot more. But being 8, if it wasn't corn, if it wasn't tomatoes, I didn't care. I still remember one night going to my godparents' home for dinner, and my godmother brought a vegetable to the table, and I do not recall what it was. All I know was that it was neither corn nor tomatoes. I didn't care. I wasn't interested. That was my position at 8 years of age. At 51, my position is very different on fruits and vegetables. But then it was like, if it's neither corn nor tomatoes, yeah. So it takes a lot for me to be turned off by bread or tomatoes, like seriously. So I'm going to say, if you feel that bartering is an option for you to acquire a resource or to obtain an increase in the resource you need for this project, then absolutely do that. If it feels right to you. Because with this guy, with the toxic energy guy that offered me bread and tomatoes, it did not feel right. And I was not going to eat those bread and tomatoes. That was card number 4. This is card number 5, Pentacles and Resources. Card number 5 reminds you of resources you may have overlooked. So one last time, the back of the card design, the beautiful, shimmery, shiny, sparkly back of the card design. And now we have the front of the card design. Card 5 reminds you of resources you may have overlooked. It is the 8 of Swords. So what resources have you overlooked? What thoughts, what plans, what ideas have you overlooked? Or what thoughts, what ideas, what plans, what mental images, what words have you dismissed? Maybe it's not even about something you've overlooked. What have you just dismissed? Like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, that's not going to happen. Oh, I don't know about that. You know, I have a thing. If somebody tells me the same thing 3 times in a row, like, or rather 3 different people make the same comment or the same suggestion or the same compliment, I take that with a heavier grain than, let's say, a grain of salt. If I have a negative experience with something 3 times in a row, that tells me that's not something that I want to use anymore, or to utilize anymore, or to make time for, or to even give bandwidth to anymore. So I'm going to say this about the 8 of Swords. Is there something that you have dismissed more than once? Is there some resource that you've dismissed more than once? And maybe now is not the time to dismiss it yet again. Maybe it's time to really look at, does this not serve my needs, or could this actually serve me well? Maybe it didn't serve you well in the past, but that's the past. Maybe now it could serve you very well. And the final message card, which is from the bottom of the deck, is chalices, swords, coins, swords. A lot of mental stuff. So now I had the thought, watch this be a major arcana card. It's not a major arcana card. I thought it was. It is the Six of Swords. Okay, I shuffled this deck very thoroughly, more than once. So you know what? I'm going to say the focus is going to be on the swords and the planning. Because of the 6 cards that are present, we have swords. We have swords. We have a 3rd swords card, now we have a 4th swords card. So the focus really is on planning. What plans need to be organized? What plans need to be reorganized? What plans need to be revamped? What plans need to be rewritten, reimagined, reestablished? Which plans need to be put on hold and which plans need to be moving full steam ahead right now? That's how I'm looking at this. And also, which plans need to be put on hold temporarily and then put back into action? That's something else to consider. YouTube, as always, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. Before I go on to any other thank yous, let me thank Llewellyn Publications and of course the Barbara Moore for this wonderful calendar. I am so happy that they published yet another edition of the Llewellyn's Tarot Calendar. I now have the 2022 edition, which was published last month, and I cannot wait to begin exploring that calendar in 2022. Thank you again to all of you in YouTube land for honoring who I am and what I do. Thank you so, so much for all the likes, for all the comments, for all the shares, even on social media platforms that I don't use, like Facebook or Reddit. Thank you for all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all of you who have been scheduling your sessions. And I must tell you, I have already scheduled 2 appointments for the Saturday that I will be at Notions and Potions. So I'm going to say that it will be officially announced next Monday, but I will tell you that definitely Saturday is booking up. I will tell you the dates that I'll be at Notions and Potions will be from Saturday, September 17th. I'm sorry, Friday, September 17th through Sunday, September 19th, 2021. And I already have a lot going on Saturday, September 18th. But I will definitely be offering in-person readings. If you want to have a phone reading while I'm at the store or a video reading while I'm at the store, you will need to pay for it in advance. And you can contact me about that directly. And I look forward to casting the cards or consulting the Sacred Oracle, whatever its form, whether it's cards, runes, the pendulum, etc., or a goddess energy healing treatment for you under divine timing and goddess grace. I wish all of you great mountainous blessings of wealth, health, and happiness, and as always, stay tuned for the next video. And good night.